We're here with episode 20 and we're talking about SEO. What's up, guys? We're here, episode 20, and we're talking about SEO, which is a key component to any sound marketing strategy. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
So we're going to dive in today and kind of break down what SEO is, why you should be using, and maybe give you some quick pointers that can help you create a sound SEO strategy.
All right, so the very first thing that we're going to do is just define SEO. So it stands for search engine optimization. And it's really all the key components that you do to a website in order to get you to rank higher in the search engine. So when somebody goes and searches for whatever product or service you're offering, the hope is that you're going to appear page one of that search result, position one.
The foundation of any SEO campaign is going to be the website. This is your home base. This is where Google's going to crawl, read the information, and find out if it's relevant to that user's search query. There's a couple key things that you're going to have to do to make sure that you structure your website in a proper way for Google to rank. And that's the biggest thing is going to be an NAP, name, address, and phone number. You're going to want this information to be consistent across the web. What this does is tell Google that you are real and you are really who you say you are.
All right, so the other factor that plays into this is that you want to give Google as much information as you can about the products and services that you're offering. And let's be real here, we are talking about Google because really who's using any of those other search engines? So when you're doing that, some other things come into play. So the amount of content that you have, the keywords that you have on each page. We have some clients that have upwards of 10,000 pages on their websites. And so that definitely weights them and helps them to rank higher because that's a higher keyword density. And of course, with every page being structured appropriately, they're going to rank higher.
From our research and our experience, we found that there's really three big determining factors in local SEO campaigns that weigh the heaviest. The first one being the consistent name, address, and phone number, which is often referred to as an NAP. And the second is going to be site structure. You want to talk a little bit about site structure and what that is?
Yeah, so there are some key components to the code that make up the site that Google looks at. So for instance, title tags are, if you're looking at a browser window and you have a tab open, if you hover over that tab, the little text that appears when you hover over it, that's the title tag, and the developer has specified that in the code, and it's there on purpose. And so Google looks at that, it looks at your headline tags to make sure that what you have set as an H1 tag, it thinks is the most important thing about that page. And so little things like that, schema code, those are all indicators to Google on what it should rank you for and what your website is about.
And let's not forget backlinks. What a backlink is another website linking to your content saying that this content's relevant to what my website's about. A common backlink would be like the Chamber of Commerce saying, hey, you're an advertising agency within our chamber.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really important that those backlinks aren't just backlink farms, which is something that used to exist, 4 years ago or so. These have to be legitimate links from a website that has pertinent, subject matter to yours. So, for instance, if somebody was linking to an article that we had on our website and it was a technical article, if it was the maker of a content management system and they had linked to one of our articles on that, then that would be fantastic for the ranking of that particular page.
Sure.
So,
in conclusion, I think the biggest thing is just Google has a very particular set of guidelines that they ask you to follow in order to receive these rankings. Follow their guidelines, do what they say, and kind of do everything. Don't skip, don't take any shortcuts, because the more effort you put into this, the more time you can allocate to doing the best practices, the more you'll be rewarded with those higher rankings.
Yeah,
So,
and make sure to do your research and think it through first. So obviously you're not going to rank for everything. So there's long tail ranking, and there's just the more short tail, if you will. So ranking for a word like agency is not really in the realm of possibility for most advertising agencies, but because you're going to get a lot of definitions and other things like that on that first page. But if I wanted to rank for agency in Mobile, Alabama, then I can do that. So think about how that applies to your business, your product, your service, and start writing those things down and being aggressive about pursuing those.
Sure. As always, if you have any questions about SEO or any strategy, we're happy to answer them. If you're on Facebook, please give us a like and a share. YouTube, subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.